Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Power Rankings. Week 8 coming up. We have the Cardinals facing the Packers. Starts tomorrow. And 7 weeks in the book. Bye weeks are rolling. Everything's going. Channel slowed down a little bit. We are at the World Series. Started yesterday. Braves took game 1. So if you guys are watching that, comment in below. I'm just interested. Who's watching these videos? What kind of videos do you guys want to see? Football, hockey, baseball? What kind of videos do you want to see? Maybe something completely different, more about me, more about something else. Let me know what you guys think. Trying to grow this community. Of course, baseball season coming to an end kind of slowed down, but for me, the Discord, I'm still in there every day, talking sports, following sports myself very closely. So if this is something you guys want to talk about, make sure you guys jump in that comment section below. Curious what you guys want to see of this channel going forward right now. The only real thing we have going, Power Rankings every week, every Wednesday I've been doing this. Going to miss next week, likely. Going on a vacation. But other than that, we just got the hockey podcast that once every 2 weeks kind of thing, because me and Mr. Maverick are quite busy with other things. To find time to do 2-hour podcast can be quite difficult. So let me know, guys. I'm just curious if you guys are watching this video, what you want to see around the sporting world. Otherwise, let's jump into it. Number 32, sticking at the bottom, we got the Houston Texans. And honestly, what can I say? I can't say much about them other than they got smoked. 20-point spread going into that game. They got it covered. They're going to be last, and it feels like that way for a long time. They might lose Deshaun Watson. We might see him get dealt. We'll see. 31, New York Jets. They're going to have Flacco behind the helm this coming up with their quarterback getting injured this past week. Again, they got blown out by the Patriots. Jets have a long way to go, it seems. They always seem to be in this rebuilding mode. Maybe with Zach Wilson out, Flacco coming in, we'll see how they can do. Otherwise, not much. Number 30, same spot as last week. They lost. They're still looking for that first win of the season. Do give them a lot of credit. They fight day in and day out, and honestly, they probably should be number 30. Match them up against some of these teams that might find a win, but they haven't found a win, and they're very much the bottom of their division, and it looks that way. They don't seem to have promising development going forward against this division. Tough division going forward. Number 29, continuing to just slowly fall down the rankings. We have the Miami Dolphins losing to Atlanta, which was another team in the bottom row last week. They don't have a lot going on. Tua just seems to get interceptions at the most untimely times, and Dolphins have a long, long way to go. Number 28, we have the New York Giants. Nice win for them over the Panthers this past week. Still a lot of injuries, and I don't see them having a good shot in their division. Mind you, the division is pretty weak, and they got to be pretty happy with how they came out against the Panthers. Panthers started 3-0 on the season. We'll get to them in a minute. But working their way up. I think I had them 30 last week. Working their way up. Daniel Jones showing some flashes that this team is much better than where I have them right now. But I need to see some more consistency. 27, Jacksonville. They had the bye week. They're pretty much in the same spot as they were last week. Nothing to see. They're going to have an interesting game this coming up week. I know they're underdogs, but to me, I forget who they're playing exactly. But I think they have a good chance to win coming out of the bye. We'll see. 26, Washington football team getting pretty much manhandled again this week. Packers. They had a lead at the very beginning of the game, but the spread ended up getting not covered. Not a whole lot going for them. Their offense just can't seem to get going. Turned out their running back has been dealing with shin splints the whole season. So, we're probably going to see them in the bottom of the division fighting with the Giants. Number 25, same division again, Giants, Washington, and now the Eagles. Eagles had a rough game against the Raiders, and their season's all but over. Zach Ertz traded before last week now with the Cardinals. He had a good first outing with them, and the Eagles, they're in that rebuild stage, and this whole division seems to be rebuilding at the same time, except for one team. We'll get to them near the end, but the Eagles are right there. Number 24, not too much ahead, really. The Chicago Bears just can't get any offense going whatsoever, and it just feels the whole offense did not look good again for the third week in a row, it feels like. But the Bears got absolutely demolished by the Buccaneers. I think they're pretty much in the same spot as last week, mainly because the only team that really could have moved up, because all these teams lost, were the Giants. But I just, again, looking for that consistency from the Giants. It's been pretty much 2 years of atrociousness adding up for them at this point. 23, it's slowly but surely falling down the rankings. Sam Darnold is falling back to what he was last year before with the Jets. Turnovers galore. I don't know what else to say. The team's falling pretty much out of contention for the playoffs after starting 3-0. Number 22, they're playing this team this week. And right now I'm giving the edge to Atlanta. I believe Atlanta's at home this week, and they do have the advantage in the spread. So that'll be a good game to watch. But Atlanta, nice win against the Dolphins. Realistically, they're still around for playoff contention, but they're going to need a lot of help along the way. 21, got the Seahawks, and they lose again. This week, what was that? The Saints on Monday night. A pretty atrocious game to watch. Not one for most football fans to watch, or new fans would not be too interested. But without Wilson, and now what? They're like 2-5 or what now on the season. They're not going to make the playoffs. They have a lot of question marks of what this team is without Wilson, and even Steve Carroll might be out of a job by the time the season's over. Number 20, same kind of story as the Seahawks. They're out of it. The other two teams in this division, much stronger, much better records, and they're pretty much secured it up. San Francisco losing to Indy this past weekend, coming out of their bye. It's pretty much going to be a battle between them and the Seahawks. Who's going to come third, in my opinion? Number 19, moving up a couple of spots, and realistically, probably not super deserved, but they did blow the Jets out. And honestly, the way the team's been playing, Mac Jones has looked all right. They have the weapons. The defense has been good, as consistent with Bill Belichick style football. Bill Belichick out against all these teams below. I would pick the Patriots at this point. So the Patriots got to be pretty happy with where they are right now. Got a long ways to go before they continue with the Bills. But who knows? Maybe by the end of the season, they're right there in the hunt. Because this team is getting better and getting better quickly, as you get used to seeing. Number 18, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do believe they were on a bye this week. I don't remember seeing them in this game, so I think they're in the same spot. Same with this team, number 17, Minnesota. They were on the bye. Same story. They're going to come out of both these teams coming out of the bye looking to go in different directions. Minnesota's slowly been coming up. So yeah, Pittsburgh was higher and slowly been coming down. These teams going in somewhat opposite directions, but both right now, in my mind, in the same spot to be able to strike at the playoffs. Number 16, the Denver Broncos losing a very tight one to the Browns on Thursday night. They had a little bit of extra rest this week, but they're falling out of it. They're pretty much middle of the pack at this rate, and Teddy Bridgewater doesn't seem to be the answer for this team going forward. I think mediocrity is pretty much what's in the Broncos' cards at this point. Number 15, Colts. Not really moving up, but they pick up a giant win over San Francisco. The only problem is all the teams essentially ahead of them. There'll be a couple that lost, but for the most part, they all win. And they're still 3 games back from Tennessee. So this week coming up, they're playing Tennessee. It's going to be a very important game. Nothing else to say other than that. 14, we got the Saints. Nice Monday night win over the Seahawks, but they do not look amazing. Winston does not look like the offensive answer for the Saints team. The defense, on the other hand, always keeping them in the game, kept it a low-scoring game. It's a low-scoring game. They should be able to squeeze it out. They're bubble team playoffs right now. Of course, they're likely not going to win the division. 2 other teams down here, but then we have the Buccaneers who continue to roll. They're going to have to be fighting for a wild card spot, and right now I kind of see them on the bubble. Not quite good enough to be in the top 12, which are essentially playoff teams. Number 13, we got the Cleveland Browns squeezing out a win against the Broncos. Like I just talked about, all these injuries are piling up for them. So for now, I'm a little concerned of whether they can hold it together, because their division is very tough too. Realistically, I think this is the lowest team in their division. The Steelers at 18, so quite possibly the strongest team, definitely the strongest in the AFC. Number 12, I spoke too soon because now we're talking about the AFC West here. I do believe the Broncos are the lowest rated I have in the AFC West at 16, so they might be the best division in that. So this bubble for the playoffs in the AFC is definitely going to be hot. Raiders, nice solid win, 2-0 since Gruden got canned. They're heading the right direction. They're kind of streaky so far. Winning out of the gate, then a couple losses in a row, now they're back to winning. Do like what I see, definitely when they're at home. They've been very consistent. Number 11, the team they're ahead of, but in my mind, chasing in the division, are the Chiefs. The Chiefs are dropping to the lowest they've had And honestly, you could probably put them in the middle right now. They're playing mediocrity, but they're the Chiefs. They haven't played the Raiders yet, so that's going to be an important game when those two teams finally meet. Chiefs going to have to find something. Their defense just can't. All that Mahomes has not looked like himself. A lot of concerns with the Chiefs right now. 11. Right now, they're lowest they've been all season. Lowest pretty much the public has thought about the Chiefs in a long time. 2 spots away, and we're talking about them missing the playoffs. Number 10. We've got the Baltimore Ravens. They got smashed this past week by the Bengals. It really seems like a very Jekyll and Hyde team from the Ravens as of late. They're squeezing out wins against the Lions, squeezing out other wins along the way against the Chiefs, and then they get blown out by the Bengals. And then on another day, the week before, they blew out the team that they played. I believe it was the Browns the week before. I forget exactly who it was. But the Ravens, Jekyll and Hyde. Playoff team at this rate, but very Jekyll and Hyde. Number 9, they're on the bye week. We got the Chargers. They did move up because these two teams looked poor in my eyes, and Chargers beat the Chiefs. Chargers actually got blown out by the Ravens the week before. That's who I was thinking of. So let's do a little swap-a-doo, huh? And that makes a lot more sense. Number 8, after amazing win, these Bengals are for real. Their offense is getting done with Chase, just a huge addition. So they got Burrow in last year. They're bringing in a weapon at wide receiver. We know they have Mixon, who's kind of dealing with an ailment at running back, but Perrin is getting the job done too. And their defense, it's good. So right now, Bengals top team in the North. It's been a long time, but again, the North, super strong. Number 7, moving up a couple of spots, and then they seem to be for real after beating some top teams with the Chiefs past week. Bills the week before were not quite at them. They have a little bit of a lead over the Colts, who are pretty much their only contender because you got the Texans, the Jaguars as the other divisional teams. But Henry and showed that they can get it done with their Henry against the Chiefs. The Chiefs pretty much adjusted for Henry. He only got 80-something yards. I say only, but that's tiny for Henry. But then they have the wide receiver weapons, and they proved that they can do it against the Chiefs and just tore up that Chiefs defense for real. Number 6, we got the Cowboys. I do believe they're on a bye the past week. I'm trying to remember. But they're great. They're in a good position. They're pretty much set at this point. The division's been very, very weak in this NFC East, and you would expect them to pretty much roll the way they have with their offense going forward. Number 5, same spot as last week. We have the Green Bay Packers. Packers are rolling. They own the Bears. They beat the Washington football team. They just seem to cover spreads and win games. And Rodgers has a big test ahead of him this Thursday. They're going to be playing a short week. Looks like Dante Adams isn't going to play with COVID. So it's going to be a tough opponent. But I'm not going to read too much into this game when it comes to power rankings. But Green Bay is looking very strong in that North Division as they're working their way to a pretty much an easy division title, considering Minnesota's the closest team back from them. Number 4, dropping to 1 spot, even though they're on a bye. We've got Buffalo Bills. Just kind of watching the other teams this past week while the Bills were sleeping, taking a rest after coming off a tough beating of the loss to the Tennessee Titans. I just had to move them to number 4 last week. Number 3 this week, we had the Buccaneers. Had to move them up. Their offense and their defense just seems so much more in tune. Buffalo, I might give the edge slightly to offense. Give the edge to the Buccaneers right now on defense, how they're pulling off on defense. So in that situation with Brady, all the weapons he has, if Gronk comes back, if these two teams meet, I would give the edge slightly to the Buccaneers as of right now. Number 2, we got the Rams. Pretty simple week for the Rams. They played the Lions, and they handled it. Nothing else to say. We got number 1, 2, Arizona. They played the Texans, and they handled it. Both those teams have been top 2 for a number of weeks. Both that have continued to handle their opponents. So nothing else much to say other than Arizona remains the only undefeated team in the NFL. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. These are my rankings as of now going into week 8. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with, etc., etc. And again, remember what I said at the top of the show. Let me know what you guys want to see on this channel, because this channel, it's starting to lose a little bit of its appeal. I want to see what you guys want to see more of. Excited to hear that. So thanks for watching. Peace out.